Next to her, the German Finja Hermanusson, and then in lane number 8, representing Turkey, Hilal Avci. Be interested to see what Amy Fisher's tactics are here. Of course, she won the 1,000 last week, but didn't get the result she might have wanted in the 500. So let's see what her approach is this week about getting that balance right. But she's off and made, as you would expect, Amy Fisher, a very, very good start. So Fisher in lane 6, right next to her. The person who'll probably be chasing her home will be the Hungarian Rendesi.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell from the first stroke there that Amy Fisher means business. She just got that timing perfectly out the bucket and has already got a boat length lead on the rest of the field. Looking very, very strong. The Chen in lane 2 is just currently ahead of Rendesi in lane 3 from Hungary. But in lane 7, Hermanusson from Germany chasing down Amy Fisher. But no one really able to stay with the New Zealander as she stretches her lead. Again, just there's such a fluid rhythm about the way that the Kiwis paddle, and Fisher showing the world how it's done as she stretches that lead. She's already nearly 4 seconds up on the rest of the field. So have they all decided to settle possibly for the semi-final, Ross? I think they might have done.
Look, I was going to ask you, Emma, I guess when you look at, when you turned up at the course today and you had a look at the start list and you saw that Amy Fisher was in your heat, I wonder whether already you'd be thinking, okay, I'm not going to go out there and go hammer and tong with Amy Fisher. I'm sure I could challenge her, but do I really want to do that? Probably not. So let Amy go out and do what Amy does, and I'll just paddle my own race back here and be content in the knowledge that I am going to go straight through to the semi-final no matter what. So I wonder whether there was that mindset. I mean, I can't imagine, with the exception maybe of Esther Rendesi from Hungary, that there would have been too many on that start line who would have thought, I can really, really challenge Amy Fisher for this win here. I think most of them probably had the mindset that they'd be just happy to have a good hit out on the water here. Look at that distance now. I mean, goodness me. This is a heat of a 1,000 metre race. And there's Amy Fisher doing what Amy Fisher does, going out hard.
Yeah, and I think that also is the sign of a great athlete, Ross. She could be dropping off her pace, she could be settling and just stay ahead of the rest of the field, but she's not. She's executing her race as she wanted to execute it. I'm sure she's got more in the tank as well, which is pretty terrifying for everybody else. But yeah, pretty phenomenal to see her deliver that race. Just regardless of what everyone else is doing, she's wanting to give herself a test and to execute it, and that's pretty phenomenal to have that sort of gap in 1,000 metre.
It really is. Wow, this is super impressive. We spoke about it last week, Emma, about the disappointment that she felt after Paris. It didn't go her way. She was really disappointed in her final race. And after taking that decision to skip Tokyo, she really had a point to prove. She didn't get to prove it in Paris. And now Los Angeles, I mean, is it going to be her last Olympic campaign? Who knows? But she certainly really wants to make amends in the next 4 years as we get the build up towards LA in 2028. And look at that. I mean, goodness me, you could not get a more comprehensive result, Amy Fisher, and she doesn't look like she's overextending herself, Emma. I mean, you can read body language for paddlers better than anyone. She doesn't look like she's overly exerting herself, does she?
No, not at all. I think she is going to be definitely someone that the others are going to fear. Just taking that first position with absolute ease. Everybody else, I think, settling. But even if they weren't settling, they were never going to be able to compete with Amy today. She really did deliver something extraordinary. For the others to experience her wash is obviously quite unusual in a canoe sprint race. So yeah, really impressive, and I think a great example of an athlete that has been able to take the disappointment that they've experienced and turn it into a positive. She looks focused, she looks committed, and she certainly looks out to right the wrongs of Paris for her.
Indeed, I am really looking forward to now Fisher v Wang v Peters v Chikos. in this final, this women's K1 1000 final. It'll be interesting to see how hard they all go. But in particular, I think Fisher versus Wang, that is going to be something worth the price of the popcorn to get in and watch. We'll await confirmation, but absolutely no doubt at all about our winner, Amy Fisher. I think in the end, maybe Hermanusson from Germany just tipped out Rendesi from Hungary for second and third. But in the end, it doesn't really make any difference. They're all safely through to the semi-final. What are you reading there of the conditions, Emma? It looks there's a little bit choppy, but it's not too bad, is it? We've got the Paracanoe athletes coming up very, very soon. What do you think they'll make of these conditions here?
Yeah, I think the chop and the waves can be challenging for the Paracanoe athletes, obviously with the differing ranges of core function. It can, even within the same race, you can have very different athletes experiencing the conditions due to the function of their core. So I think it does look quite choppy. I think I've seen it worse here. So let's hope that they are embracing the conditions and have probably been out and had a bit of a paddle to acclimatise. But there's the result of that one K1 women's 1,000 metres. Amy Fisher, 3:59.24, 14 seconds ahead of the German Hermanusson in second place and Rendesi from Hungary in third. But all of those athletes making it through to the semi-final.